The finals just got its brand new update 7.3. I'll go over all the details in the new update, as well as some notable things that aren't mentioned in the patch notes. We'll cover some additional things with the developers, and of course some last minute updates with the community. We got a ton to talk about. What's up world, Shopee here back in with another video. Today we're checking out all things the finals. First off here, we do have the opening statement over on the Discord side of things, where this one is from Embark Dusty. She goes on to say that update 7.3 is bringing it back with a boom. A new explosive TDM where you blast off, a bunch of event contracts with a set of retro rewards. There's also some additional improvements to destruction, and plenty more quality of life improvements like an improved practice range, a separate intro and winter emotes, as well as some balance changes to encapsulate all of that. With the World Tour side of things, CNS has taken the stage, so do expect some chaos soon, as standard cash out is back on the menu. Now they do mention they have a packed store update, that the video is coming later though. Still, at the time of recording this audio, the video is not available, so you have to wait and see on that. I do keep refreshing. If it is there, I will try to insert it into this video. If not, I have taken my own footage so I can use that as well. Jumping over to the actual 7.3 patch note side of things, where they first do go over that brand new mode, which is being labeled Blastoff. Now, this mode is actually really fun. It has a retro filter over the top, so things are very pixelated, much like Doom or older Dooms, or even some old-time Quake. And as it's labeled here, it's a medium-only, low-gravity, always-on, where you only get one loadout set, which is explosives plus evasive dash. As I mentioned with that pixelation, plus the centered camera for retro shooting, there is 12 free rewards with this LTM, and it is also playable in private match during this entire event. You can see some of those free contract rewards here, and even a full outline of some of the highlight reel ones that you can earn right now. Now there is also week 2 and stage 2 rewards. Those haven't been unveiled yet aside from the new outfit, so we will have to wait and see on those. Again, it is a really fun mode. I'll have a lot of the footage in the background here that you can watch. Should definitely check it out, and I'm glad they are adding that to private match. I hope they do keep these LTMs eventually to stay in private match, but it is nice that you're able to play it right now. As I mentioned before, there is some destruction overhaul happening. Now, I covered this a while back, and I didn't know if this was going to launch with the new season. They did showcase this during both the dev interview that I had and also on Twitch Live, so I wasn't exactly sure what was going to be happening there. But they do mention that there is physics improvements across the board here, with Kyoto specifically now having more collapses that feel more natural. Skyway Stadium destruction now causes knock-on structural damage, and there actually has been visual updates here as well, with damage edges that are now smaller, clearer, and more consistent, and level design remains intact post-destruction for better playability. Some really cool changes with destruction here. The finals already has really amazing destruction levels, so the fact that they keep improving this is quite awesome to see here. And with all these new destruction techniques, it will be cool to see how they actually do play. As I mentioned, World Tour is getting a CNS takeover, but this first off is that standard cash out is back. CNS's new theme here is they want you to see through walls but not with tech, and there will be some additional lore-rich rotations here with the CNS flavor. As I mentioned earlier, the store is completely stacked for this July 4th celebration. There is 20 new plus cosmetics, whether it's Rocket Fist, Mesh Hoodie, or even a retro animation pack. Probably why this store update video is taking a little bit longer than usual. I do have some footage here, especially of the mesh hoodwear. This one you can't see from the store page, but it does showcase a little bit of the imagery here. More than likely what we probably will see in the store update video. Of course, there's those 20 plus cosmetics. Liberty Loadout here is one of them. Where next up we have the 4th of Mayhem. And then the Persuader pack, which is the rocket launcher you can use in the new mode. Then we have the Dark Canopy set. We have the Jank Pack 7, which are those low FPS vibes animations that you can have. Of course, they're going to add a new CL40 skin here, Blast for the Fast. Next up, we have the Back Blast 97 for the AKM, and a few other weapons here, as well as the Toy Box trigger for the CL40. That is, I believe, all of the cosmetics tied to this event. There might be some that I missed, as I say there are 20 plus in here, but I do believe I caught nearly everything. With this update, we did get a brand new launch of the Twitch drops. That's the Broadcast Blaze set, plus the Imp Oscar sticker, which is essentially standing for Imp Oscar, like imposter there. So pretty cool and a fun play on the community manager. And also some really nice purple skins if you are into that theming. As I mentioned before, you can now set entry and winner emote customizations. where you can set separate emotes for the entry and now the victory. So those don't have to be the same anymore, and you can tailor your taunts and goodbyes in style. Now there was some dojo updates, but this was with the practice range. The bots have now been upgraded for smarter behavior and accuracy, as well as the big box challenge here. You'll see that it now has an easy and a hard mode alongside standard, so you can change that around if you wanted to do so. And they do mention that multiple improvements here have been implemented to both bot and the challenge selection UI. Next up here, which you've all been waiting for, the balance changes. So the H+ infuser per shot actually got a nerf here from 20 down to 15. You'll see it definitely was a decent chunk there of a nerf. The healing emitter also got nerfed here, where its cooldown will now start after the destruction, although you can now pick up the healing emitter as well. They do have it where you can manually pick up and set the cooldown to 3 seconds. Remote pickup will be 15 seconds. And that also does work around corners and through walls, although the cooldown was nerfed from 30 to 35. But you won't be able to spam out healing emitters like you could during the beginning of the launch and even during the playtest that I had. That was one of the first things we noticed, is that you could basically spam the healing emitter, at least because the cooldown would start as soon as you placed it down. So you essentially had one ready to go as soon as that one was destroyed. Gateway also got nerfed here with a re-entry delay from 0.5 seconds to 1 second, so you can't spam as much back and forth. Now there was various weapon changes here, but these mostly revolve around the equip and unequip tweaks. You can see a list of them here depending on if it's green or red, it got nerfed or buffed, meaning that the equip time actually lost if it was green. So essentially it was a bit easier to unequip and re-equip. Or if you do see a red arrow here, that means that that weapon did receive a nerf, where essentially it does take longer to pull that weapon out or put it away. So it seems like they did want to adjust some of the weapon swapping there. With this new update, even though the LTM is around the CL40, it did get nerfed a bit. Self-damage did increase, and its inner blast radius did get decreased. Sledgehammer, though, did get a buff here with the hit detection height from 15 centimeters to 25, so easier to hit a player. They have also noted that they still have temporarily disabled the new weapon system for automatic weapons to fix the laggy hit feedback. Seems like they're still trying to adjust that one. Now there was a ton of bug fixes and quality of life changes here. I'm going to run through them very quickly just so we can get through them. There was a ton of animation fixes here with loop animations or even glitch fixes. Audio had some voiceover remastering with new respawn statues and dual cash out lines. Controller had an explosion rumble bug. There were some additional for cosmetic fixes here as well. There was also a ton of map improvements for Kyoto, Skyway Stadium, Monaco, Seoul, Sis Horizon. UI also got some small adjustments here, but the major one at the very end is for the anti-cheat and security. They are now deploying a kernel level anti-cheat that will be deploying over the coming months. This will be a rollout feature. They also are using machine learning for detection, and they have been using it since launch. Really cool they're using that sort of tech for this. Their goal overall is to raise the cheat dev time and cost to protect fair play. They do mention that cheaters always leave breadcrumbs and they're always being tracked. So hopefully they do nail this down. I really do think that machine learning tech is going to help with this a lot. And on top of that, every game now has a kernel level anti-cheat. I all think they do need that at this point in combination with the machine learning, so I do think that's cool to see those deployed together. Now, I will say I know there is some concerns with the Steam Deck overall with that kernel level anti-cheat. However, Embark Dusty does clarify here there are no plans to drop support for SteamOS, Proton, and Wine, and or even the Steam Deck. Despite them not officially supporting that platform, they will do their best to maintain your ability to play, so hopefully they can kind of work around with that one. Last up here, as always, we do have those mentionables from my community, which are those features from the Star Models page. First up here, we have one from Dragon Sama. He's calling this one the Reaper. I love how they made the mask work with this hoodie here, and even though some of the colors aren't exactly perfect, I really do think I like this one a lot. Plus the samurai sword just tops it off very nice. Next up here we have one from Trace, who does a shout out here to Kurt Cobain. I think he encapsulated this one very nice. Back again with another one here is Flack, who shows off the Thatcher class from Rainbow Six. Definitely does that one justice there as well. We also have another one from Advance, who's calling this one Nameless and Faceless. Really like the matching complexion on this one, combining the new robot legs and some older cosmetics to tie it all together. We also have another frequent feature here from Maddie, who says they just wanted an outfit around the astronaut helmet. Actually, this one does make it work. Looks sort of like a bug. Last up here we have one from Noah Dia, and he asked chat if he did cook. I believe so overall. I think the color combination actually does work here. Even if it doesn't match perfectly with the pants and the chest piece, I think it can fit very nice. Overall, it should be covered for today's video. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, and until the next one. Deuce!